Today, we're diving into the world of tomatoes, those vibrant, juicy gems that add a burst of flavor to any dish. Whether you're a seasoned chef or a home cook, tomatoes are a staple in kitchens around the world. But what do you do when you have more tomatoes than you can handle? Have you ever found yourself swimming in a sea of ripe, juicy tomatoes? Maybe your garden produced a bumper crop this year, or you couldn't resist buying a few extra baskets at the farmer's market. Either way, you might be wondering how to make the most of this tomato abundance without letting any go to waste. We've all been there. Those farmers market hauls can be overwhelming. You start with a small basket, and before you know it, you're lugging home bags full of these red beauties. It's a great problem to have, but it does require some creative thinking to ensure none of those tomatoes go to waste. But don't worry, I'm here to share a super easy way to preserve those gorgeous tomatoes. Freezing might sound like magic, but it's actually super straightforward. Imagine capturing the essence of summer in a single moment. That's what freezing your tomatoes does. It's like creating a time capsule of freshness and flavor that you can unlock whenever you need it. Think of it as hitting the pause button on your tomatoes' freshness. When you freeze them, you're essentially stopping time, preserving their peak ripeness and taste. This means that even in the depths of winter, you can enjoy tomatoes that taste like they were just picked from the vine. When you freeze them, you're locking in all those vibrant flavors and nutrients at their peak. This process ensures that the tomatoes retain their nutritional value, so you get all the vitamins and minerals as if they were fresh. It's a simple yet effective way to make sure nothing goes to waste. No more sad, mushy tomatoes in the back of your fridge. We've all been there, finding those forgotten tomatoes that have turned into a squishy mess. Freezing eliminates this problem entirely. You can store your tomatoes for months without worrying about them going bad. Freezing gives you the power to enjoy summer's bounty whenever you want. Imagine the joy of making a fresh tomato salad in the middle of winter, or adding a burst of summer flavor to your stews and casseroles. It's like having a garden that never stops giving. Soups, sauces, salsas. The possibilities are endless. Frozen tomatoes are incredibly versatile. You can use them in a variety of dishes, from hearty soups and rich sauces to zesty salsas and refreshing salads. The convenience of having frozen tomatoes on hand means you can whip up delicious meals in no time. And the best part? Preparing frozen tomatoes is a breeze. You can chop them up while they're still frozen or let them thaw for a bit before using them. They blend beautifully into sauces and soups, adding that fresh tomato flavor without any extra effort. Your future self will thank you for it. Before we freeze, let's give those tomatoes a little spa treatment. First, rinse them gently under cool water. We want to remove any dirt or debris clinging to their skins. Next, grab your trusty cutting board and a sharp knife. Chop those tomatoes to your liking. Big chunks for sauces, small dice for salsas, it's up to you. Remember, the smaller the pieces, the faster they'll freeze. Flash freezing is our secret weapon for perfect, individually frozen tomatoes. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. Spread your chopped tomatoes in a single layer on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Pop the tray into the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours, or until the tomatoes are solid. This prevents them from clumping together in a giant tomato iceberg. Once your tomatoes are frozen solid, it's time to bag them up. Transfer those frozen beauties into freezer-safe bags or containers. Squeeze out as much air as possible before sealing to prevent freezer burn. And here's a pro tip. Portion them into smaller bags. That way, you can grab just the amount you need for your recipe without thawing the whole batch. Before you toss those bags into the freezer, grab a permanent marker and play a quick game of label maker. Write the date on each bag. This helps you keep track of how long they've been in your freezer. Frozen tomatoes can last for months, but it's always best to use them within a year for optimal flavor. One of the best things about freezing tomatoes this way? Major space saver. When you freeze tomatoes in flat bags, you're not just preserving their freshness and flavor, you're also optimizing your freezer space. Think about it. Traditional methods often involve bulky containers or jars that take up a lot of room. But with flat bags, you can maximize every inch of your freezer. No more bulky jars taking up precious real estate in your freezer. Those jars, while useful, can be quite cumbersome. They don't stack well and often leave awkward gaps that can't be used for anything else. By switching to flat bags, you eliminate this problem entirely. You can say goodbye to the days of playing a frustrating game of freezer Tetris with mismatched containers. These flat bags of frozen tomatoes are like Tetris pieces, fitting perfectly into any nook or cranny. Imagine the satisfaction of seeing your freezer organized with military precision. Each bag fits snugly next to the other, creating a seamless and efficient storage system. It's not just about saving space. It's about creating a system that works for you and makes your life easier. You can stack them high, slide them in sideways. The possibilities are endless. The flexibility of these flat bags means you can adapt your storage to fit your needs. Whether you have a small freezer or a large one, you can make the most of the space available. And it's not just about tomatoes. You can use this method for a variety of foods, from fruits to vegetables to pre-cooked meals. Now you've got room for all those frozen pizzas and ice cream pints. With your freezer organized and optimized, you can stock up on all your favorite frozen treats without worrying about running out of space. It's a game changer for anyone who loves to cook and wants to make the most of their freezer space. So go ahead, become a freezer Tetris champion and enjoy the benefits of a well-organized freezer. Ready to unleash the flavor of your frozen tomatoes? It's super easy. No need to thaw, just toss them straight from the freezer into your favorite recipes. They're fantastic in soups, stews, sauces, and chilies. Their texture might be a little softer after freezing, but the flavor will be just as bright and delicious. So there you have it. Freezing tomatoes is a piece of cake. It's the easiest way to preserve those summer flavors and enjoy delicious homegrown goodness all year long. So go ahead, grab those tomatoes and get freezing. Your taste buds will thank you later. Happy preserving!